Just press record. And so your faces won't be on the recording. So you can rest assured that you won't be in a public space. So we'll just the people presenting will be seen. However, your chat things you put in the chat will come up in the recording. So if you don't want your personal name there, don't either change your name, you can rename yourself, or you can just not put anything in the chat and ask us privately, ask your consultant privately. But if you're happy to have your chat in the recording, just leave it there. I just wanted to cover privacy before we start. Now, I'd love to hear in the chat box if anybody has made any of these dishes before, either hot cross buns, raw chocolates, or marshmallows. Have you made any of this before? Feel free to pop it in the chat box while I just set up to share this one as well on Facebook. There we go. Just a second, sorry. And ladies, maybe Laura or Donna, if you could read out things from the chat, that would be awesome. Do that. Sorry, everyone, just setting up the Facebook Live as well before we start.
So Di hasn't made any of this, but Sue has made the hot cross buns and loved them.
Awesome. That is good.
I've made gluten-free hot cross buns. I haven't made standard ones, so I've done the gluten-free. But I'm excited about what you're making, Jess, and what Heidi's making. I'm excited about what Laura's making. But I haven't made those other two, so I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah, awesome. I can't wait. As well, thank you, Donna, for filling us in there. I think we're now recording and on Facebook, so welcome to our people watching on other channels there. And let's get started, hey? So please don't talk to me when I'm live, love. No, you can't eat the marshmallow yet. Alrighty, so we're going to start with my marshmallows going, because we've got a few things to get through today, and the marshmallow does have to cool before we're going to whip it. Now, what we're going to use is this Gut Digestive Health Australian grass-fed gelatin. So if you're going to use gelatin, please go to your health food shop and get a good quality one, because you'll get some bonus benefits. And it's got gut health written there. So you will get some excellent benefits in your sweets as well. So what we're going to do first of all, when we're going to make marshmallows, is get 3 tablespoons of gelatin. Now, I'm following a recipe that's actually online. It's by the Quirky Cooking blog, and I'll get you that link later or email it to you, those who have registered. There is a marshmallow recipe in Cookie Do, but they use sugar, and I want to use honey. So that's what we're going to do to start with. And there we go. I'm going to put everything in. I'm going to put some water in next. 250 grams of water. There we go. And ideally you'd put the water in first and then the gelatin on top. I just remembered. So there we go. We want the gelatin to go on top for us. And we want it to start to bloom. The gelatin starts to bloom. So it starts to sort of activate in your water. So I'm just giving it a little stir. There we go. And it's starting to dissolve. So I'm just going to pop everything else in. So marshmallows are so easy in your Thermomix. I'm going to use the built-in scales and weigh in some honey. Now, this honey is actually from the Coorong, which is pretty exciting. It's the first time I've used this one. And so I've got both of these from Go Vita in Mount Barker. Often we get local honey from the farmers market as well. So you want to use a honey that you like the taste of, because your marshmallows are going to have a fairly big hint of that flavour as well. There we go. So we're going to put around 200 grams of the honey, a pinch of salt, so just some fine salt, put a little pinch of that in, a bit of vanilla. So I just use vanilla extract. You want to use real vanilla. Yes, you can make vanilla in your Thermomix if you want. Love to hear who's made vanilla before. And we're going to pop our butterfly in, which I've washed. So we've just got all the ingredients in there. Pop your butterfly in, and I'm going to have to find my lid. Everything will fall down off of the drying rack. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pop that one on. So we're going to manually put the time in. We want about 8 minutes. So I'm just going to set that going. And about 50 degrees, so not too hot. And speed 1. You can replace the measuring cup with the steamer basket if you like. And I'll get that in a moment. And that will let some of that moisture out. Now, if you want marshmallows that you can toast in the fireplace, you're just going to have to cook it at a high temperature. And that's all written in the recipe as well. But we're going to just use normal, soft, fluffy marshmallows today. And I'm going to let that go. The gelatin and the water and the honey is cooking now. And then I'll show you the rest in a bit, okay? So we're going to jump over to Laura's kitchen. And Laura's going to be talking about those hot cross buns.
Hello everyone, thank you for watching tonight. So I'll be making hot cross buns tonight, which I'm excited about. They're definitely a favourite in our household, and they freeze really well. So I usually freeze them in like 2 or 3 in sort of a bag, and then they're really easy to just pull out for easy lunches or snacks during the day. They defrost well in lunch boxes for school as well, which is good. So I've just popped on to Cookadoo and I've searched hot cross buns. There's a few different hot cross bun recipes. So there's a gluten-free hot cross bun recipe. There's also a chocolate hot cross bun recipe, which is one that I would I think I'll be making those soon. They sound really yummy, but yeah, so I've just popped in hot cross buns and I'll just click on the hot cross bun recipe and we'll go start cooking. So there's a variation of this recipe, and the variation is to pop a little bit of zest. I think it's lemon or lime zest in at the very start. We're not a big lemon sort of we don't really like lemon. So I'm going to leave that out. And the Thermomix is quite thorough, and it does tell you, so it just says here that this is optional and to skip to step 2 if you want to leave it out, which is what we're going to do today. So I'll just press next, and we will start. So what it essentially does, if you did want to use the lemon zest, it will, you just peel a lemon, pop it in a bowl and like grate it so it's really, really fine, mill it essentially, and then you stir it into your flour. But we're not going to do that today. So I'm just going to start off by putting our milk in. So I need 250 grams of milk. I'm using Fluorio milk today because we're from the Fluorio and we love supporting local. I really love how the Thermomix weighs it all out for us as we go. So that's really handy. It's one less thing you need in your kitchen. So you don't need kitchen scales. You've just got your Thermomix. And yeah, I love the guided cooking as well because it sort of tells you what to do instead of having to think about it. It's just on the screen to read, which is handy. So a tablespoon of dried yeast. I keep the yeast in the freezer just so it keeps for longer. So I popped that one in. Next, I will pop our lid on. Just give that a little bit of a dry. Pop that one on. Next, and this is going to activate the yeast. So it's going to heat the milk up to 37 degrees, which will help the yeast to activate and essentially start a bread starter for us. Yeah, so did you want to cross to someone else now, Jess? Or just
lovely. Thanks, Laura. Was that a 2-minute or a 3-minute?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay. And you've got that. Okay. I think what we'll do is we'll stay with you, but what we'll do is we might even have a close up on my my Thermomix, and we'll do that while so we don't interrupt your recipe. Yeah. Just a second. Replace spotlight. So just so you guys can have a nice close-up look for those that might not have seen the Thermomix before, or you might have a different model and you're a bit keen to see the TM6. Here's a nice close-up for you. As you can see, I've got my time going here of 2 minutes left. I've got 50 degrees and it has reached there, and just speed 1. So that's what I'm doing. If we flick across here, this is where you can access all your modes like scales, and you can bring them up while you're cooking, which is awesome. We couldn't do that with our TM31s, but we can with the 5 and the 6. And that's so then obviously our Thermomix can weigh for us if we're preparing something for later on in the recipe. We've also got our dough modes, our turbo pre-clean, which is nice for when you've got that sticky dinner you've just made and you don't really want to wash it. You can get Thermi to wash itself. We've also got thicken mode, egg boiler mode, which I'm sure Laura might mention later. I remember hearing about Laura's little boy who loves egg boiler mode for his boiled eggs. And we've got fermentation up here for yogurts and things, and slow cook and sous vide. So there's even room for more modes to come along. Just call out when you're ready, Laura.
Yep, we've got 40 seconds left.
Awesome. And over here, I've just scrolled over to the far left page on our TM6 and we can see cookie dough. So cookie dough is where Laura is accessing her recipe. I'm doing a manual recipe tonight, and I believe Heidi is as well. But often we are using cookie dough recipes, which is, for those that don't know, it's our recipe app, and everyone with every model of the Thermomix can use it. It's just that it will be on the screen for our TM6. It'll look like this. If you've got a TM31, you can use the app on your phone or your iPad. You'll get access to so many inspirational recipes. We might even type in Easter a bit later on and see what type of inspiration we can get. So we can just do a search there. We'll do that later. We might head over to see Laura again with her dough that she's doing.
Sure. So
there we go.
So I've my yeast is warmed up with the milk, and so now we skipped the next part because we didn't use the zest. We're going to put in 500 grams of baker's flour. So I'll do that now. Popping flour in with the milk. That's about maybe 2.5 cups, I guess. A little bit more. A bit more. There we go. So 500 grams. And now we need just a pinch of salt, which I'll pop in. 70 grams of butter, which I need to cut. I'm going to use my knife from my Thermomix toolkit, which is really handy. This kit's got 3 knives and a ice cream scoop and some scissors and a peeler, and you can get that in a bundle at the moment if you purchase the Thermomix, which is a really good deal. I've got another one on the way, and I'm very excited to have one in the car and one in the house. Been really handy. Yeah, it's been a really handy set, particularly if we go out on a picnic. And the knives are really sharp, which is great. So next we need caster sugar. Now we in our family have been limiting our sugar intake recently. We sort of got to the point where we just realised that we had, quite a lot of sugar. We're just, consuming a lot of sugar without realising. I'm sure everyone's done that before. So it says 50 grams. I probably put in 13 grams. I might do a little bit more. And I haven't got any more caster sugar. So I'm just going to put in a tiny bit of raw sugar, which will hopefully be okay. I'm sure it will. So I've just limited the sugar by half. I'll pop in an egg. I've become quite brave with my egg cracking into my Thermomix. I used to crack it into a separate bowl and then pour it in, but lately I've just been doing it all at once, which is means I don't dirty an extra dish, which is sort of why I like the Thermomix, is that I'm not dirtying lots of dishes along the way. So now we'll put our spices in. So we're using ground cinnamon. I'm using true cinnamon, which is, have a look for it in your health food shop. It's got some different health benefits to cassia cinnamon, which you can have a look up online. Got some ground nutmeg, so same amount, 1.5 teaspoons. There we go. All good. And then 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves. Okay. Next, pop our measuring cup and lid back on. And when you're making dough, you will often find that the Thermomix will mix the ingredients together, and then it will, on the next step, skip over to a dough mode. So the dough mode, the blades will move and stop, move and stop, move and stop, which you'll hear in a minute. So I think to start off, it's really good to just mix all the ingredients together, and then you move to your dough mode, which is one of those modes that Jess was talking about before. So I'm just going to, after that mix, I'm just going to scrape the lid down. You can see there's a little bit of food on there, which we'd like to go back down to the bottom. So I'm just using my Thermomix spatula. This is a great spatula because it's the same sort of length between the sides of the bowl lid, but also it's the same on the bottom of the bowl that's sitting in the Thermomix right now as well. So we'll pop that down, we'll scrape down the sides. It's really good, this spatula. There's lots of little features. It looks like a bit of a funny spatula if you haven't seen the Thermomix spatula before, but it's really well designed, as everything Thermomix is. But this guard here means that you can pop your spatula in the hole of your bowl lid and it will stop the spatula bottom from hitting the blades if you need to help stir food through. It's also got a little notch that will take your steamer basket out, so it acts as a handle for that. And it's got a nice flexible tip, so really good for scraping down the sides of the bowl, which is handy. This recipe is great. I usually do a different recipe that's actually a manual recipe, but this one, I really love that you put the sultanas in before the knead, because I found before if you don't do that and you hand knead it at the end, they're really hard to get in there. So I'll put those in. I'm going to go up to about 150, just because this recipe asks for currants and we don't have any, which is another pro to the guided cooking recipes, is that you can mix and match things. And as you get more confident using a machine, you can, you know, put less sugar or less salt, or sort of work it out to your taste and your liking. So yeah, so I've got my sultanas in there, and then this is going to knead just for 2 minutes, knead it all up, and then it will be ready to pop into a bowl and let it rise. So yeah, I'll pop that on and you can hear the blades. And then
Wonderful.
they go. So yeah.
Thank you, Laura. We will come back to you once that dough is done, and you can pull it out and pop it on the Thermomat for us. We will run over to Heidi's kitchen.
Hi, Jess, thanks for having me. Can you hear me? Am I on?
We can. Yep, we can hear you.
Is the setup any better or worse?
Yeah, I like it. I like the setup.
Yeah, I'm a bit further away, I feel. I can't see me up there.
Yeah, no, we can hear you and see you.
Okay, good. Okay. I'd like to share with you how easy it is to make chocolate in the Thermomix. It's something that I wouldn't dream of making without a Thermomix, because it's really, really easy to mess chocolate up. Make it too hot, crystallizes, turns gluggy. Yeah, it's very easy to mess up without a Thermomix. So I'll be making some chocolate bark. There's quite a few recipes out there. There is one on Cookie Doo called Maca chocolate bark, I think. I have tried it out. It's quite a good recipe, but a bit thicker to what I'm used to. So I'm not actually going to do that one today. I just want to show how absolutely easy it is just to make your own chocolate bark, where you can throw whatever you want in there basically, and it really is super delicious. So I've set all the Thermomix up already just for 37 degrees. We will be grinding our cocoa butter up. I don't know if you're familiar with the ingredients that we're going to use. The cocoa butter and the cacao, I should say, because cocoa is something that actually has been depleted of most of its nutrients. So cacao is something that is cold pressed. So you've got the cacao butter, which is pressed out from the beans, the beans, when the cacao powder is extracted. So it doesn't go over a high temperature. You've got all these amazing nutrients. It's absolutely chock full of nutrients, antioxidants. I'm sure you've heard that before. Anyway, you buy these in the health food shop, and yeah, definitely worthwhile going the healthier versions. Now, cacao butter looks very ordinary. It's a bit on the bland looking side, doesn't look like chocolate at all. It can smell this beautiful chocolate aroma. Anyway, so we'll pop this into the Thermomix bowl. This will need to be milled up briefly, just to make it in smaller milled amounts so that everything can melt evenly. So we'll set him going just briefly. You'll feel hear a bit of a powerful noise.
Has anybody used cacao butter before? Have you made your own chocolate before? I'd love to hear. I think Heidi's still chopping away.
No,
Okay.
I'm good. I have finished chopping, and basically now we want to melt. We don't want to use too high temperature, so 37 degrees is all we use to melt. It does take that a little bit longer, so I usually put about 10 minutes on the clock. And then once it's melting, every now and again I stop it, scrape down the sides, make sure it's all down the bottom and melted beautifully before I add all the other ingredients. So I'll start that going, and I suppose I'll have about 10 or so minutes, Jess.
Yep, lovely.
All
Okay.
right.
So while you're melting that cacao down, we'll swap over, and Heidi will show you what that looks like later. Really important not to proceed until that cacao butter is fully melted. And I've
Yes, one more thing.
Sorry. Yes.
Sorry. Make sure your bowl's quite dry. Water can actually ruin it as well. It can make it go crystally and go gammy as well. So make sure you've got a nice, clean and dry bowl.
Fabulous. Great tip. I'm glad you remembered. I didn't remember that one. That's good. So we will wait for that to melt. And while that's happening, I wonder if Laura's dough is ready for something.
Yeah, it certainly is. So my dough is all ready. You can see there. It looks beautiful. I'm very excited about this story. So what I'll do is I'll pop that out onto my bench. And you can see here, like it's a pretty clean dough, really. There's not too much stuck on the sides of the bowl. It's not too hard to get out. Now, tip with dough, you can see there's a little bit there. And if I want to get some more off, it's just to pop my bowl back on the Thermomix. I'm going to pop the lid back on and press my home button because I'm in a guided cooking recipe. I'm going to pop 2 seconds and I'll go up to speed 10. And then the same thing, but we're going to reverse the blades. So the blades will move one way and chop, and then if they go the other way, they stir. So that's handy. Okay, and we'll have a look at our bowl and see. So you can see that Thermomix has flicked all the dough out to the sides there. So that's really handy. I reckon I could get probably another tablespoon of dough out that I probably would have like either washed down the sink or while I was washing this bowl up. The other good thing about dough and something that I love about the Thermomix is that when I finish making my dough, I will give it a clean on its pre-clean mode. So pop a litre of water in and a bit of detergent or vinegar and it will clean itself. So you don't have to worry about getting in there with a scrubbing brush or anything like that. It's really thorough in that way. Now, here's our dough. So I've just rolled it into a ball, just really, really roughly there. And I'm going to pop this in a thermoserver. Now, I'll grab it and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the thermoserver. This one you can get as a host reward. So if you were to come to one of these events online and invite 2 friends, you can pick one of these up for a reduced price. And this is fantastic. So it's a double-walled stainless steel bowl. This one actually fits in the Varoma, which is the steamer that sits above the bowl. And you can make pot-set yogurt in here, which I quite often do. But yeah, it's also really good for proving dough because it keeps the temperature consistent. If it was a really cold winter's night and I was making dough this late, you might have a little bit of trouble rising. So what I would do is fill this with some warm water for 10 minutes, pop the lid on, let it sit, empty the water out, and then pop my dough in, and it will be nice and warm and a good little environment for the dough to rise. So tonight I'm going to pop my dough in there and let it rise. And earlier today I made this recipe. So this dough has already risen. I've actually wrapped this dough in a Thermomat, which is another host reward. And this is a really handy mat because it does the same thing. It keeps it nice and warm and helps it to prove. But also you can bake on this mat as well. So it's oven proof and you can use it essentially as reusable baking paper. So there's lots of different uses for this. I love our host rewards at Thermomix. There's some really good ones that you can get, and yeah, you can even collect them all if you want. So that's a really good option. Jess, did you want me to keep going with this dough, or would you like to cross to someone else? Oh, you're on mute.
Thank you. Heidi, is your cacao finished melting?
I'm just having a look now. I've
If
still
not-
got a bit of a lump in there. I might have
No,
to
won't.
give it a
Keep
spread it
going.
around a bit. So
Yeah, no, and that's what we said. Just a few more minutes until all your cacao is fully melted. We will go into shaping. We will do some shaping, and then actually before we shape, better get my marshmallows happening. You get your dough ready, Laura, and I'll very quickly show you the next stage of marshmallows. Oops, move that up a little. So earlier on, you saw me melting gelatin, water, and honey, and a little bit of salt and a little bit of vanilla. Now that's fully melted, and it looks a little bit like cacao butter. So Heidi doesn't need to show us what cacao butter looks like. Looks like that when it's melted, but I can smell the honey. Now, what's going to happen next is we're going to wait for it to cool down because that was all melted at 50 degrees. So we want to wait for that to cool down. Now, in your Thermomix, it'll light up. It'll show up if it's 50 degrees or, you know, if it's got a temperature. But if it's less than 37 degrees, you'll have no light showing on your TM31, and on your TM5 and TM6, you'll have no numbers showing. So you know it's less than 37, and that's what we're looking for our gelatin. We heated it up, and then we want to let it cool down again. And that's very similar to when you're doing your yogurts as well. So that is cool enough. And what we're going to do is just whip it. And I was re-looking at the recipe, the quirky cooking recipe. I was looking at it again, and I noticed she'd put some notes in that I hadn't noticed before. And she said, don't over whip it because then it will get more sticky and hard to work with. So she said just until it's whipped enough, because it's going to go from that yellow mixture into a white, fluffy meringue looking mixture. I'm going to put it on for 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes, and we'll have a look. And I'm going to whip it at speed 4. That butterfly is still in there. I'm going to whip that, and I'll put myself on mute so you don't have to listen to it whipping. And we'll take a peek. When that's finished, all we got to do is pour it into a lined container. I've just got one of those Systema ones at the moment, and I've popped some baking paper in there just then. We're just going to pour it from here to here, let it set, and you will have a mega marshmallow. I'll show you what it looks like when it's set as well. We will have a look at some shaping of the hot cross buns.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so what I have done, I'll bring you down a little bit here. So I've just divided my dough up. I've just realized that these are probably actually too big. So this makes 12, this recipe. So what I've done is I've used my little knife. You can get a dough cutter from the Thermomix shop, the Mix shop, which holds all our Thermomix accessories. But today I've just used my knife from that little toolkit I was showing you before that you can get if you purchase your Thermomix this month. It's in a bundle with the meter. And yeah, so this is probably a good size. So I'm just going to lay them out on my tray, and this is another Thermomix Thermomat. So it comes in a set of 2, so you get both. And this one's great for baking and using as reusable baking paper. So yeah, so just shaping these up into balls really. Pretty easy. And then yeah, and then I'll pop the crosses on them. But yeah, it's a lovely dough to work with, nice and easy. You could make these smaller if you wanted to. If you've got little children, you could make them definitely a lot smaller. Yeah, if you wanted to make it a little bit bigger, you could as well. But I think, yeah, 12 is probably what I'll aim for. I might get maybe 14. We'll see how we go.
Wonderful. Thank you, Laura. And after you've shaped them, you're going to let them sit and prove again. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'll let them prove for a little while. And then maybe
lovely.
towards the end, I'll come back and... Yeah.
Sorry, we will go and see Heidi because I forgot to let her put the rest of her ingredients to make her chocky.
Yeah.
I'm just going to skip over to Heidi while you're shaping.
No worries.
Yeah, looking beautiful. So we're lovely and runny. Probably hard to see. That's 100 grams of my cacao butter that I've melted. So that's now beautiful. We add all the other ingredients. Starting with your sweetener, I usually use maple syrup. I go for it's usually half of the cacao butter. So 50 grams of the maple syrup I'll pop in. This is a nice delicate way of sweetening your chocolate rather than sugars, which can be really overpowering. This is just really delicate and sweet and lovely. Then we've got about 30 grams of the cacao powder, which I've got to say again is just so packed full of nutrients. It's not funny. It's got this beautiful ingredient in it called phenylethylamine. I don't know if I said it right. And what's so good about this phenylethylamine, apart from being a good Scrabble word, it's something that makes you happy. Apparently it's the one ingredient in cacao that gives you a really good happy feeling. So we should all be eating more good quality chocolate. So I had to add that in just to give us an excuse to eat nice chocolate. Now, to flavour the chocolate, you could put a teaspoon of vanilla in, some nice vanilla. I often like to make it a bit salty. I'll put a bit of salt in there, a couple of pinches, and I will actually flavour with a bit of peppermint. That's my absolute favourite. So just 1 drop of peppermint. This goes a long way, this essence. So this will be my flavouring. You could put any other flavouring you like in there. I think the online cookie dough one, the maca, is not exactly a flavouring, but that's actually quite a good nutrient to take as well. But anyway, this will now get, I've got it all, yes, I'll blend this up a bit faster this time, also at 37 degrees. So my speed before was about speed 1 or 2. Now I can sort of speed it up just that little bit, make sure it incorporates. You can even have a peek in the top, make sure it's mixing up nicely. Now I'm all set up ready here with my Thermomat as well. This is lovely non-stick. Don't have to worry about baking paper. I use this for my chocolate all the time. We can now, if we want to, put some scatterings of flavourings like the chopped nuts or some chopped fruit, anything you like really. I've got some ground up cashews which I'll sprinkle down underneath. We'll pour the chocolate over the top so that will really combine beautifully. But you could just scatter on top as well. It's really up to your own desires what you'd like to do there. I've got some lovely chopped up cherries, some organic dried cherries, which I chopped up earlier. And they're absolutely beautiful. They're not too sweet. They're just that little bit tart. So, I don't know, almost a black forest chocolate creation, maybe what I'm making. So, we will now see what this chocolate has done. And I'm hoping that we've got a beautiful runny chocolate that we can just pour over the top. And it's absolutely beautiful. It smells divine. It's got a bit of peppermint smell, which I just love. So really, honestly, there's no hard way of doing it. You can just drizzle it. You can spread it around with a knife if you wanted to. Sometimes I do spread it with a spatula. You want to get all that chocolate out that you can. But be sure not to wash this down the drain because you can make the best chocolate milk out of it afterwards, which I will be doing. This is lovely and beautiful and runny. Depending on how thin you want it, you can make the bark to decorate cakes. You can just eat it as is, which is what I tend to do. But anything Eastery, you could put it into moulds, put flavourings in. But this is probably my favourite way of doing chocolate, just in thin shards. This I will either decorate with some more cashews, which I do have some of. So I love cashews. And this will now go in the fridge, and 20 minutes or so that should be ready.
Oh, that is so good. And I love how you've shared with us all the health benefits. Thank you, Heidi. And I love how you've popped the cashews in. I've even popped like cashew butter through, or actually roast almond butter through. And that has tasted really nice and made it a bit of another flavour, another depth of flavour. But it's really so versatile, isn't it?
So much you can do. Oh, look. Ever since I started making this, I can't go back to eating regular Cadbury's, not to mention that there's just no nutrients in that sort of chocolate.
It's just sugar, isn't it, unfortunately?
You can't compare the flavours. This is just divine. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It just melts in the mouth and it tastes incredible.
Yes, it's so creamy. And I guess that would be my tip. I'm going to show you my little picture, my little screen. These ones I made a couple of days ago, and just so divine, creamy, delicious. I let them warm up a little bit if I have had them in the freezer or the fridge. They are fine. They're stable at room temperature with this recipe. But these are so shiny, gorgeous. These were just in a mold. So Heidi popped them on a tray for like a bar.
Yeah.
But you can get molds as well. This is all that's left of my last batch. But absolutely delicious. Thank you, Heidi. And Heidi, some people make drinks out of their chocolate when they are cleaning their bowl. Do you do that?
Oh gosh, yes. I always put my favourite milk in, almond milk or cashew milk, and I just warm it a bit, and it makes the best hot chocolate ever. In fact, I made one earlier for my daughter when I did a practice run with the maca chocolate.
Yes.
And she said, "This is amazing."
Awesome. That would be lovely with the cashew milk. Thank you very much for showing us, and I hope everyone's been inspired to make your own chocolate, a special decadent treat.
It is the best, and it's so easy, so easy.
Great. And I'll have a look at my marshmallow, and then we'll go see Laura. I think she's got something to show us, and we have a special surprise treat for everyone at the end, which is Donna with her special drink. Now I want to show you what's happened to that yellowy liquid we saw earlier. Look at it now. It's a white, just like egg whisking egg white. So that's the consistency you're after. And I'm just going to shake that. I'm sure the kids would want to help me clean this one, right? I'm going to pop that. Yes.
I'm not sure, you're not spotlighted. The screen's on Laura at the moment, so we can't actually see what beautiful thing you're showing us.
Thank you. Thank you, darling. You got to see Laura's beautiful face. Alrighty, I'll do that again. So this is the consistency that you're after, nice and thick. So I did that for about 7 minutes, speed 4, and it whipped that up beautifully. And what you're going to do next is literally pour it out into your container. Hopefully you can see that. And you could do it in a mold, like an Easter bunny mold. I need to experiment with that. I just love, I'm going to do it the right way now because it's a bit tricky doing it facing the camera. I want to buy a mold. I should do it this year and test it out to see what happens when you make it like an Easter bunny. How would that be? Have you seen those ones before? Shops, little bunny. And what you can do is you can coat this in toasted coconut. You could drizzle the chocolate that Heidi's made on it, and you could even cut it up. I'll show you what it's like when it's set. You could cut it up and you could make some Rocky Road with the raw chocolate on top. I have done that before at Easter time for the kids, and made jellies as well. You can make little jelly snakes and that kind of thing in your Thermomix. So if you're interested in that, we can show you that another time. But there we go. I'm going to let that set. What you do is you just need to clean the spatula. The kids will probably like to help you with that. And you're going to pop it in the fridge without a lid. So you want it to get some air. It's going to set without the lid on. So you could just let that set. It'll take, I don't know, half an hour or something. So I have been known to make this at birthday parties. If we ran out of fun kids foods, just whip up a batch of marshmallow. If it's a sleepover, it'll be ready in no time for them. I need to lick my finger. So I'm going to hand over to Laura, and then we will see the finished marshmallow at the end. And Donna's going to show you what you could do after you've made marshmallow. I could make something with that leftover marshmallow there, couldn't I? Similar to what Heidi does. And Laura's going to show us the next step of her hot cross buns.
Cool. Am I spotlighted?
You are for me. Yes, you are.
Cool. All right. Oh, there we go. That's better. All right. So the next part of the recipe is making the cross mixture. So we are going to, I've done a little trick here to just help my dough. I've just put my Thermomix together, try and keep a nice warm environment to help it rise a bit better. But I'll take my lid off. Another good thing about this recipe is that you don't have to wash your bowl between the dough mixture and then this mixture. So it saves time and washing up, which is great. So 80 grams of plain flour. I've done a little bit too much there, but that's all right. And then we need a pinch of salt, which I've got here. And a teaspoon of olive oil. Pop that in there. And some water, which I'll grab from here. So 100 grams of water. There we go, a little bit too much as well, but that's okay because we had too much flour. Pop lid on next, And this will just mix for 30 seconds and make that mixture nice and thick, ready to go into our piping bag. So I've got my Thermomix piping bag here. You can buy these on the mix shop. They're fantastic actually. They're really good quality, and I've had this one since Christmas and it's been great. Really strong, yes, Sue, they definitely are really strong. Come with lots of different attachments, which I'll show you. So you've got, yeah, different heads to it, and they all come with it. I am just using the small round one here. So we'll pop that into that mixture, into our piping bag. So give that a bit of a scrape down on the sides there. You may even reckon that might just need 10 more seconds of mixing. So I'll just go back a step. So you can do that as well with the Thermomix if you think, oh, that doesn't look how I want it to be. You can add or take time. We'll just do another 10 seconds. It was pretty well mixed. It just had a little bit of and we'll open. Yeah, so that looks much better. So what I will do is I will put this down. And I'm going to try and get my mixture.
I might let you do the sticky part. And we're going to cross over to the marshmallow drink. Oops, I just gave it away, the secret. We'll let you do that, get it into the bag, and we'll be back.
Sure.
Thank you.
Hi, Jess. So yes, I am going to be making a very quick and easy Easter drink. I mean, you don't have to just have it for Easter, but we're making marshmallows, or Jess is. So this is a marshmallow milk. Very simple, 2 steps, 2 ingredients. Can't go wrong with that. I have just popped the milk on. So you just need 500 grams of milk. I am using lactose-free milk for myself this evening. And you just put that in, 500 grams, 90 degrees for 6 minutes on speed 1. That is nearly done, but just very quickly, this was found, kids actually found this on Cookie Dough. I know you can't quite see the screen 100%, but if I guide you through it. So I've just pressed search on Cookie Dough, and it will bring up all the Australian recipes directly on the screen. On the top left, there is a button that says recipes. And if you press on that one, it drops down to collections. I love searching collections. It narrows it down a bit more on the category or the subject that you might be looking for, rather than searching, you know, all those thousands of recipes. So there's Easter ones, there's the Meter Plus, which is one of the bundles available at the moment, the Meter. Laura was talking about that with the kitchen toolkit. Ginspiration for all those gin lovers out there. So there is 128 collections in the Australian filter. If I go into filters, I can then remove Australia, and it will bring up all the recipes, all the countries' collections in total, and there is over 4,500. You can choose different languages, like you can do, countries, Australia, UK, America, if you want in English. But I'm just going to press show, and it will bring them all up. There is actually a new one, the Best of Easter. I was having a little peek at that before. But then from that screen, you can search Easter, and it will bring up all the Easter collections or anything to do with Easter. So it's a great way to narrow it down, again, by topic. You could search Easter, you could search, I know there's keto recipes, vegan recipes. You can narrow it down by collections, which is great. And then this recipe was in the Easter cooking with kids, hence why my kids found it. They actually made this live on our Facebook page a couple of days ago. Kids are 8 and 3 and made this all by themselves, start to finish. And that's why we love Thermomix, because yeah, if a 3-year-old, 8-year-old can use it, anyone can use it. So there's a few different ones on there. We've got 2 minutes. There's like pizza pinwheels, and there's like Easter nests, and then there's the marshmallow milk. So that's what we're making today. Beautiful and quick. I'll just go back to my bookmark and just quickly read out as well.
I'm just bringing, I've got my screen up close, Donna, if that helps.
Thanks, Jess. I just wanted to read about the variations. So if you wanted to go into the marshmallow milk, thank you. It is a very sweet recipe, and I am using shop bought marshmallows. Sorry. I need to pop over to your house, Jess, and grab some of your beautiful, fluffy homemade marshmallow. It's so quick and easy, though.
I hope now I've demystified it, and it will be something you give it a go, and something our viewers give a go too.
Definitely. It looks so easy, and it just looks amazing and fluffy. I don't really eat much marshmallow, but the kids love it with their hot chocolates, and they love this one. But what I liked was in the variations, as you can see on Jess's screen, you can make a strawberry marshmallow milk. I haven't done this tonight. We haven't got enough strawberries at the moment. But yeah, just by chopping up some strawberries, 140 grams, you can make it a strawberry marshmallow milk. So very quick and easy. And yeah, as you can see, it's 2 ingredients and 2 steps, and it's 7 minutes in total. And it's literally just heating milk, and then I'm going to pop the marshmallows in and blend it up, and it's very fluffy. We've got 40 seconds left, Jess. But I love going in those other Easter collections and those other countries collections, because there's some really good recipes out there that you might not be aware of.
Yeah, that's great, and I love how your kids found that. Thank you so much for sharing that. You guys can watch the video on Donna's page another time. We'll pop the link into our chat group. Now, just a sec, let's just remove spotlight. If anybody would like to join our chat group and you're not already in there, please let us know, and I'll email that to everyone who's on this call, and you can see more of what's going on behind the scenes, and you can share one of your photos. That would be great as well.
Do you want to add the marshmallows in?
Yes, please.
All right. Awesome. So that was 6 minutes just heating up the milk, so 500 grams of milk. And then we add 8 marshmallows, or approximately 60 grams. I'm going to do marshmallows because then it will make it a little bit pink without adding the strawberries. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've only got a couple of. Okay, I'll do 10. So 10 makes it to 62 of these ones. It will depend on your marshmallow. And it is as simple as that. Pop the lid back on. And I'm going to blitz that up. So speed 5 for a minute, and you gradually go up to speed 7. It's not heating at this stage. It is just melting that marshmallow down in that milk.
Lovely.
And then we can pour it in our glasses, and then you can serve it. I've got some like little mini marshmallows as well, so I'm going to put them on the side. The kids have gone to bed, so it looks like I've got to drink it. What a pity.
Oh, thank you for sharing this fun recipe, and I love how kids can cook easily with the TM6. Now, if you guys would like to see more about the Cookie Do recipe platform, just contact your consultant. We can tell you more about that, and we'll jump over while you're pouring your drink out, and we're going to have a look at the crosters briefly. We've just gone to the hour now, but we'll have a look at our crosters on our hot cross buns and get some more tips there. I will show you the marshmallow set at the end, so please stick around another few minutes.
All right, so I'm just going to pipe the crosses on. So you could do crosses. If you didn't want to do crosses, you could do something else. Love to hear your ideas of what you might like to do on your hot cross buns, but we'll keep things traditional tonight.
Yeah, and that piping bag is just so amazing. I love that piping bag. It's probably almost my favourite thing in the mix shop.
It's very easy to use. It was actually really easy to pour the mixture in. I
awesome.
put it in a large cup just so that it had a bit of support and
so good. And look how easy that is to put the crosses on. So you will let those rise a bit more after this. Is it about half an hour or?
Half an hour, and then there is a sugar syrup that you can make to put on top to make them a bit shiny. But I'm actually not going to do that because as I said before, we're trying to stop eating so much sugar. So I'll
good.
Them as is. And
good idea.
Yeah, they'll be beautiful. But look at those. How easy was that?
Awesome. Thank you so much for showing us. I hope that has given you guys some confidence. Any recipe is easy with the Thermomix, right, Laura? We just try so many different recipes that we've never done before because we can just type it in, do it, and Thermomix is going to guide us along the way, which is great. If you guys would like to see it close up, we can do virtual private sessions with you on a topic you might be interested in. You might have a gluten intolerance and want to see gluten-free. So if you've got something you would like to see in particular, contact your consultant and we can do a live session like this, or if you live near them, we can do it in person as well. I'm going to spotlight Laura because I can see she's holding up her beautiful things. Awesome. Thank you, Laura. They're going to be tasty. Imagine that with homemade butter. We used to do these in cooking experiences, I think, as well. You could make some with your consultant. In fact, if you live down near the Flurio Sue, who's on the call, she's going to be making them on Saturday, and she might even invite you to her kitchen if she has room, if you wanted to watch from there. And Laura, I was going to say, I absolutely love the glaze. I'm really sorry, but we pop it in. I use coconut sugar, and I tell myself it's healthier. And we put in a little bit of orange juice because I love having an orange juice syrup on top. Yeah, lots of different combos. Thank you. You're going to pop those in the oven once they've risen a bit more. I'm going to show you guys a quick little presentation. And then we're going to see the marshmallow shortly after that. It won't take long. Here we go. And there we go. Let's start this. Let's move that out of the way. There we go. So this is tonight's session. Thank you so much for coming along to tonight's session. We have another session in our branch coming up next Tuesday. We'll be presenting these 3 dishes. So if you'd like to come along to this one, I'm going to be presenting this chocolate cake next week, which is gluten-free and dairy-free, and I'll talk about those little raw chocolates. We've got this chocolate brioche star, which is gorgeous, and we've got a fish dish, which we're using the Meter Plus with. So if you'd like some tips, please come along to that. We will invite you to that as well via an email that you'll get tomorrow. We've got Easy Essentials, which is on April 7th, and that's where you'll learn the bread and butter about Thermomix. So love to see you there. We've spoken a bit about cookie dough. You've seen a little bit about it, and some of you are already using it. If you're not using it, please go and get a 30-day free trial. Because you've joined tonight, you qualify for our free trial, which is available at cookiedough.com.au. And let your consultant know that you've got your trial, because we'll show you exactly how to use it. If you'd like to join our team and possibly present like we are tonight, you can join our team, have fun with us, and you could earn yourself a TM6. So let us know if you'd like any more info about that. You don't have to present, by the way. That was a joke. Not everyone in our team presents, but if you want to have a crack, you certainly can. Now, it's a lot of fun. We learn stuff by going live because we force ourselves to learn it before we present it to you guys. So we're always learning. So if something like that appeals to you, you want to join a community and have fun and share the Thermomix love with others, consider joining Thermomix and earning yourself a TM6. So there's lots of things that you will get by being involved with Thermomix, including earning your TM6, making a difference, learning new skills, career experience, inspiration, all kinds of things. So I'd love to talk to you more about that. Has anyone seen this Kobold mini vac? It's from the makers of Thermomix and it's coming soon to the Mix shop. You can get one for free by joining Thermomix. I would love to tell you more about that. If you would like to know more, please let your consultant know. And we spoke a little bit about the Mix shop items. There is always new things coming out like each month. So please have a look. Pop your consultant's name in when you log in so they get a little thank you when you go shopping. And it's the thermomix.com.au website. There you'll find that. Often there's specials happening, like at the moment there's the St. Patrick's Day specials. Now, if you would like some host rewards, we've spoken a bit about those tonight. You can grab yourself them at really great prices. So you can unlock the host prices. Even if you invite 2 people to this session tonight, you could get yourself the Thermomat pack for, I think, $25 just for bringing 2 people along. And that's usually worth $90. Thermomat was so handy for Laura doing her hot cross buns. As well as these thermo servers, just amazing to keep your food hot and not having to try and serve from the Thermomix bowl. You can keep your food piping hot and delicious. As Donna mentioned, or Laura, somebody mentioned, there's this bundle offers this month with the TM6. Laura was telling us about the kitchen toolkit, which is super handy. That's in bundle option 1 with the Meter Plus, which ask your consultant more about that if you don't know about that one. Bundle 2 is your blade cover, and look at that, the oval thermo server. So they you pay a little bit more for those and you get lots of value for those extra bundles if you would like with your TM6 this month. So you get free classes, you get some Cookie Do subscription, you get us. This is us standing there next to the Thermomix there. We're going to help you. You get your value added purchase offer. If you or someone you know would like to take up the Thermomix journey with the TM6, let us know. We can flick you through our payment link, which will get you your Thermomix. If you don't want to join our team to earn your Thermomix, you can always pop it on finance if you want with Zip Money. $23.69 a week. There's nothing stopping you from getting a TM6. And that's the end of my presentation. So thank you for listening. We will get away from Laura because she's taking photos. That's behind the scenes. Look, that's what consultants do, people. We take photos of every food. We love it. Donna.
Thanks, Jess. So I have, put the marshmallows into the milk. It's not as pink as the first one that I made, well, the kids made, I should say, a couple of days ago because I had to add some white marshmallows. We're allowed of marshmallows now, Jess. We're going to have to make our own.
Yeah.
It makes quite a lot. So I've poured these 2 glasses, so hubby and I can have one. And there is still quite a lot left in the bowl as well, probably another 2 full glasses. If I bring it up close, you can actually see all that foam on top as well. It is absolutely delicious. It is very sweet though. It's got lots of sugar. Everyone's talking about making all these healthy dishes, and here I am with sugar and milk. So welcome to kitchen.
Well, thank you. And next time it could have honey if you want. But yes, that is good. That looks amazing and perfect at Easter time to make yourself a quick drink. Does it taste nice?
It's good.
Awesome. Yep. Now, Heidi, in a moment, I'd love to see a bit of a close-up of your chocolate. I'm going to show my marshmallows first, and they'll give you time to get closer to your camera if you can hear me.
I can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So this is what I've been, we'll show you in a moment, Heidi, but this is what I've been looking forward to showing you guys all day. I whipped this one up earlier today. The other one's probably set as well by now, but this is what I call a mega mallow, I think so. And it's mega. Now I'll show you how we've actually trimmed the sides so the kids have had a taste. But it comes out pretty good. It comes off of the baking paper. I've just taken it out of the container. I'll show you how to chop it. You can use your scissors from your kitchen toolkit, which is what Quirky Cooking recommends. And you got to decide how big you want your marshmallows. You might want a huge cube. Let's do that for fun. The kids will love that. So you could use the scissors and chop through. I'll just show you what that looks like. 1, 2, 3. You can cover it with a bit of corn flour if you want that look, but leaving them out in the air will let them sort of go not as sticky on the edges. So if I just pop them on a tray, I mean, it's not that sticky now, but if you wanted to, you could pop it on a tray and yeah, but it's pretty good. That is a nice little marshmallow cube, a huge one. And as I said, you could dip them in toasted coconut, or you could drizzle with chocolate or anything like that. Can even colour your marshmallows, and there's tips about that in the website recipe that I shared in the chat box earlier. So that was cutting it with scissors, and cutting it with a knife is good as well. Let's have a look. It can sometimes stick to the knife or not cut as cleanly as with the scissors, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. See, it's a much of a muchness really, but that is a log of marshmallow. You could use that as gifts at Easter time as well. And Heidi, I will flick over to you, lovey.
So that was after that 15-20 minutes in the fridge. It's lovely and glossy and shiny how it should be, so perfectly tempered in the Thermomix, and it's coming up already from this baking sheet, so it's not sticky at all. And then you can crack it into any sort of shape that you like, anything decorative or non-decorative. You can,
and that's really expensive to buy. You know, what do they call it? Rustic, you know. You'd pay a lot of money to have those shapes of chocolate bark. I sometimes give teachers that as a gift at the end of the term. But yeah, perfect for Easter.
Yeah, it's beautiful to stick on the edges of cakes once you've frosted the cake. Just stick around the edges. It's got a really beautiful sort of rustic look and tastes amazing as well. So give it a go. Eat chocolate. Be happy.
Thank you so much, Heidi, for sharing. That is amazing. And thank you everybody for joining. Laura, did you want to show anything else before we go, or Donna? You're good. Thank you so much everyone for joining. And I can see Heidi is drinking something.
That's the dregs of cleaning my bowl.
Yay!
Squished it with my cashew milk.
Cashew milk, yeah. Heidi loves making cashew milk, and yeah, that would be absolutely delicious. Very jealous. If anyone has any questions, yeah, just let your consultant know, and we look forward to seeing you at our next session. We'll figure out the theme and the date, but it's likely to be mid-month or mid to late month in April, and we can't wait to see you there. Have I said everything, Donna? Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was really good. It was great to see such a good variety of dishes as well. So I do want to try some of that chocolate though, Heidi. It looks absolutely amazing. I'm a little bit jealous, you're not as close as Jess is to me. So I'd love some. Yeah, if anyone has any questions or anything, feel free to stick around or pop it in the chat, or yeah, have a chat to your consultant. So thanks for joining us, Robin. Let us know, thank you. So, and thank you for.
Yeah, great. And have a great Easter if we don't see you beforehand. We're all very active on social media. So if you'd like to keep in touch until then, I'm sure you'll see us popping up on social media with more Easter goodies. And I hope today has inspired you to give it a go and make some of these things yourself. So easy, wasn't it? Alrighty, and tomorrow's Thursday. So if you did want to find out more about the business info session, it's actually tomorrow night. So let us know if you want to earn yourself a TM6 as well, and yeah, have even more fun cooking in the kitchen. That is it. I'm going to stop the recordings, and anyone who wants to stay around and ask a question, please